In LA this week, every little drop counts. The mayor launches the Save the Drop campaign, enlisting every single Angelino to take the steps needed to conserve water. Details straight ahead.
Bus riders along Wilshire Boulevard could shave precious minutes off their travel time if they take the bus at certain times and at certain locations. I'm Gil Reyes with your itinerary for a speedier commute, thanks to a new effort by Metro.
This place is famous for its television and movie production shoots, but now developers at this Studio City landmark are giving this location a wrap. I'm Yana Kay. The details next.
Hello and welcome to LA This Week. Thanks for joining us. I'm Ellen Chang. As California and the city continue to experience the worst drought on record, city leaders are taking a proactive approach to water conservation. And as Yana Kay tells us, there is an even bigger push now to get homeowners to rethink the green lawn.
These California-friendly plants and drought-resistant bushes have just replaced a water-guzzling grass lawn. The owner took advantage of the City of LA's rebate program, which pays $3.75 per square foot of turf removed. And now city officials are stepping up their efforts to save even more water with a new campaign called Save the Drop.
We're not forcing anybody to do this, but I think most people, when they realize, hey, I can have money in my pocket to spend someplace else instead of grass I never even use, it makes a lot of sense.
City officials announced the campaign in the front yard at the newly landscaped home. The campaign seeks to connect Angelinos with water conservation tools through community outreach and education to encourage water savings.
Converting that landscape to California-friendly, removing those lawns, taking other actions that you can take inside your businesses, inside your home. This will add up for LA.
Officials have other water-saving tips. For example, when you get into a shower and you let the water run to heat up, they say use this bucket to capture that water and then use it to water your plants and trees outside. Officials say Los Angeles uses roughly 500 million gallons of water a day, and 50% of it goes to water lawns like this one.
People don't realize that lawns evaporate more water than an open pond. So it's a losing proposition to put water on them anyway.
Save the Drop will combine all existing water conservation efforts under one campaign. And water-saving messages will be placed on ads, city trucks, LADWP bill inserts, and throughout the city. I'm Yana Kay for LA This Week.
Officials say that by summer, they expect that 20 million square feet of turf will be removed since the program began in 2012. And the mayor's office has also released an unprecedented plan that calls for huge changes in 14 categories to save the environment and the economy. Anna Marcos has more from the historic signing of the Sustainable City Plan.
It's a first, the most comprehensive blueprint ever for a greener, more sustainable LA. Mayor Eric Garcetti signed the plan at Echo Park Lake, which ensures our future is not only prosperous, but earth-friendly and healthy as well.
This plan pushes forward Los Angeles as a national leader and a global leader. It calls for LA to lead the nation's big cities in solar, green jobs, electric vehicles, air quality improvement, and recycling.
Among the highlights of the plan, steps to make healthy food accessible to all communities, the construction of more affordable housing, and the use of more electric vehicles. There are steps to turn 50% of all car trips into trips by bike, foot, or public transport by 2035. A $2 billion investment will help create 20,000 green jobs by 2017 and 150,000 green jobs by 2035. Other goals, slashing greenhouse gas emissions by 80% and water imports by 50%.
That's true sustainability. It's not just the environment, it's equity, it's the economy. All three are very, very critical.
Environmental and economic goals are not mutually exclusive, but actually rather are quite complementary.
The green goals will become especially critical as the city grows. LA will have another 500,000 residents in 20 years.
What we do in Los Angeles and what we do right, and when we innovate, and when we really completely change the dynamic, then other municipalities, other parts of the country watch very, very closely.
LA's bold, earth-friendly plan will likely become a role model for other major cities looking to find a way for urban living, Mother Earth, and the economy to coexist and thrive. I'm Anna Marcos for LA This Week.
The plan is now set to be implemented by every city department. There will also be public awareness campaigns to get the public's cooperation in achieving many of the goals. New street lanes reserved for buses only are expected to speed up travel times for daily commuters. Gil Reyes reports from Wilshire Boulevard, where business owners and their staff could benefit most.
Dr. Lydia Hazan, a pediatrician with offices on Wilshire Boulevard, has several employees who ride the bus to work. She gets along with them fine. What bothers her is a lot of them show up late, almost every day.
Oh yes, I have a bone to pick. About 12, or usually 10 to 15 minutes late.
By taking the bus?
By taking the bus.
But Metro may have a solution for tardy bus riders, adding 5 new miles of bus-only lanes on Wilshire Boulevard. Only buses and bikes can access these lanes on weekdays during morning and evening rush hour.
Those additional miles of bus lanes are expected to speed up commute times for bus riders along Wilshire Boulevard by as much as 15 minutes, while significantly reducing traffic along this corridor.
Bus-only lanes are added between Western Avenue and San Vicente, also several other spots along Wilshire in West LA. In all, Wilshire Boulevard has nearly 8 miles of bus-only lanes from downtown to the west side, the most of any corridor in LA. And local leaders say more are in the planning stages.
Looking at Vermont Avenue, for instance, a link between the Gold Line in Pasadena and the Red Line in North Hollywood. We're looking at another 12 possible corridors, in fact, all around the county.
As alternatives to driving gas-guzzling, pollution-spewing vehicles.
We can't afford to keep millions of cars belching exhaust on the streets of Los Angeles.
Dr. Hazan hopes the new lanes will make life easier for her employees.
We have employees there that are struggling with gas and with issues, and this would be terrific if it was faster.
Are there punishments if they're late?
No.
Just a tongue lashing, right?
None.
In the Miracle Mile, Gil Reyes for LA This Week.
Metro will also unveil an all-door boarding system along Wilshire. That's when riders are able to validate fares in advance so they can board more quickly by entering the bus through any door. And in more bus news, a $1 million makeover project will mean a facelift for several bus stops in and near Chinatown. Here's Anna Marcos.
A community event as kids, city leaders, priests, and residents all help shovel dirt to kick off a project that will bring 8 restored bus stops, a new sidewalk, and other improvements to this community east of downtown LA and Chinatown.
It allows us to showcase the city as people drive in. It's one of the main corridors into downtown Los Angeles.
City leaders hope the project makes these streets safer, more livable, and more walkable for residents in the area.
One is we're going to create a sidewalk across the street because there really isn't one, and that's really dangerous. Second, we're going to create new bus benches. We're going to have new tile, new mosaics. We're going to paint. And we're also going to tell the story of Chinatown and Solano and their historic role in the development of the city of Los Angeles.
It's so good because it's an extra bus stop that means better safety for the kids getting off, going to school in several different directions.
As we look for ways to help encourage people to get out of their cars and use public transportation, these are the projects that help do that.
The project is set to be completed this fall. I'm Anna Marcos for LA This Week.
Suffer now, enjoy later. That may be how the saying goes, but some local businesses located in areas where Metro Rail projects are taking place are being reimbursed now for some of that suffering. Yana Kay explains.
Even though traffic on Crenshaw Boulevard is moving steadily, the same can't be said for some local businesses which have been impacted by Metro's construction of the LAX transit project.
I would say our loss was close to 50 to 60%.
And to help with that loss, city and Metro officials are stepping up with cold hard cash. And that meant a check to help business owner Marilyn Brown keep her salon open. The Metro program is called the Business Interruption Fund, a way of lessening the negative impact on shop owners during construction.
I hope that I can be some sort of example to others to just go for it. because there's success there.
We will not forget the local business people affected by construction because their businesses happen to be interrupted. They must survive until the rail lines open.
So far, Metro has cut 4 checks totaling more than $66,000. Gilbert Carrillo was another one of the recipients.
This grant will greatly contribute to First Choice Driving School to stay up to date with its expenses during the construction of the Crenshaw LAX Metro project.
Individual businesses located near the 3 main construction sites that can prove financial hardship are eligible to receive up to $50,000.
This is not essentially to offer a hand out. It is to do what is right and extend a hand up for those who have been harmed, that is to say, their business is interrupted by the important work of public transportation.
These are the twin pillars of our strategy to help businesses not only survive the construction, but be able to accelerate, hopefully, their businesses afterwards. To get access to capital that can mitigate loss in the short term, but access to capital to grow in the long term.
Officials say helping small business is just one way they can ensure a robust economy in the not-too-distant future. I'm Yana Kay for LA This Week.
If your business is located near the ongoing Crenshaw, Little Tokyo, or the Purple Line Metro Rail projects, and you'd like more information on the program, visit pcrcorp.org and scroll to the bottom of the page to click on the link for the Business Interruption Fund. And now to news directly impacting motorists. The city has finally unveiled new parking signs that it believes and hopes are much easier to understand than the old ones. The redesign was approved after numerous drivers who were ticketed or towed complained that the signs were just too confusing. The Department of Transportation begins installing the new parking signs on Spring and Main Streets downtown. David Takis says they're far less confusing than the old ones.
I've had my car towed before because there are so many signs on top of one sign, so this is very simple to be all together in one single sign.
All you have to do is look at what day it is, look at what time it is, and with easy color coding and easy graphics, you should know whether or not you can be there.
LA Mayor Eric Garcetti kicks off a 6-month pilot program for the new placards. Instead of having several signs at one location, the plan is to have one simple color-coded grid. Green means you can park here, red means you can't. Simply know the day and time and follow the rules. Whether the new signage stays or goes will depend on your input. Offer opinions through your smartphone using these barcodes located on the signs.
There's a QR code, so they can submit information that way, or they can go to the Department of Transportation's website and provide their input that way, and it'll all be very well received. We look forward to getting as much input as possible because that's how we make this better.
David Takis already has his mind made up.
I think it's great. I'm happy to support it and happy to give my comments to the city and would like to see this replace every single sign in the city. It's just so simple.
About 100 of the signs are going up downtown to test if others like them too.
It was a full house that came to hear General Martin Dempsey, the U.S. Chairman of the Joint Chiefs of Staff, speak at USC, as he applauded Mayor Eric Garcetti's ambitious plan to end veteran homelessness by the end of the year.
We wanted to come to a place where the public sector and the private sector and academia have effectively partnered in order to deliver services and to tap into the incredible potential of our veterans.
40% of all the homeless vets in America live in LA County, but the mayor's plan could soon change that. It provides outreach, referrals, housing vouchers, and new supportive housing units for homeless vets. It's a joint effort between the city, USC, nonprofits, the federal government, and local business.
We are on our way. 6,500 homeless vets that we know of in LA County last year, and we really only worked the last 2/3 of the year. We housed 3,500 of them, and we are on track to end veterans' homelessness here in the city of Los Angeles by the year's end.
The mayor is also working on the 10,000 Strong campaign, a plan to hire 10,000 vets in LA by 2017.
The most important mission we have and that we share in this room is to make sure that this unprecedented drawing down of veterans who are coming home, that we welcome them with much more than a smile and a hug and a thanks. We actually welcome them with a job, with an education, with housing, with the things that they need to continue on with their lives.
LA city leaders have their work cut out for them. In the next couple of years, we could see more than 60,000 more vets returning to LA, which will mean that much more housing and jobs needed for our homecoming heroes. I'm Anna Margos for LA This Week.
A Studio City landmark is about to undergo a major transformation as developers make way for a modern local destination. Yana Kay spoke with some supporters and detractors.
This television commercial shoot is just one of many that have used the iconic Sportsman's Lodge Event Center in Studio City as their location for generations. Known for its lush and serene grounds, walkways, and ponds, the landmark has been a staple in the community for special events and gatherings since the original one opened in 1880. But now developer Richard Weintraub is planning to demolish the event center to make room for a mixed-use development called Sportsman's Landing. Some local residents have mixed feelings.
If it creates jobs, great. If it creates congestion, not so great.
While increased traffic is one concern, another is seeing the charm of a local landmark disappear.
It's a little disappointing because it's a nice green space over here and kind of creates a break from all the other shopping centers you have up and down the street. So that's a little disappointing.
But officials say developers plan to preserve the character of the property. The ponds and bridges will remain and be reconfigured into the new development.
But also it's going to be an upgrade to the community because it's going to increase walkability. It's going to be a place that Studio City residents are going to be able to come and enjoy much more than they can now with an event center. So I really think that this, when this is done, Studio City as a whole is going to see this as a significant improvement that still retains all that was most precious about the Sportsman's Lodge.
The $60 million project will feature 5 restaurants, 20 shops, and a 40,000 square foot fitness center. And for one woman who's lived in Studio City her entire life, the new venue will be a welcome change.
I really enjoyed the venue my whole life. I grew up around here, but I think it got kind of run down, and even though it was a wonderful place in its heyday, I think that it's had its time, and I'm looking forward to the little shopping mall and the fitness center. I think it'll be fun.
I think it's necessary, and if people don't think so, they need to get over it because it's really the time is now.
If everything goes according to plan, Weintraub hopes to get started on the project at the end of the year. I'm Yana Kay for LA This Week.
Meanwhile, the adjacent Sportsman's Lodge Hotel will remain the same. A new study by a major university supports what many working women have suspected for years, that their male counterparts make considerably more money, and not just nationally, but locally, from San Pedro to the Valley. As Gil Reyes reports, the city is taking action.
There were female cops and female firefighters. All kinds of working women from male-dominated fields gathered to hear results of a first-of-its-kind study. The conclusion's clear, even to kids in attendance.
A lot of women don't get the same opportunities as men, and I think that even though we're a little different, we should have the same opportunities.
The report, conducted by Mount St. Mary's University, is called The Status of Women and Girls in Los Angeles. It examined wage disparities between the sexes, specifically within city limits. Results showed women earn only 84 cents for every dollar men make. Not surprising to Valley Council member Nuri Martinez. The only female on the 15-member LA City Council urged more women to run for public office.
Women who run get elected at the same rate as men. We just need to ensure that they're taking the risk and running for office. And many aren't because they just don't have the support system that enables them to still take care of their families at home.
LA Mayor Eric Garcetti says he's taken steps to lend support. In a dramatic shift from previous administrations, 3 out of 4 of his hand-picked deputy mayors are women. And out of 12 new hires for general manager positions, half are also women. With his wife Amy Wakeland in attendance, Garcetti urged more men to lend support for the next generation of women.
We want to see a level playing field that every girl in the city can grow up and say, that's what I want to be. And I can see somebody there, and I can see myself there as well.
Other people are fighting battles that maybe I don't know about, so I should be an ally and help them have the same equality as I do.
To help close the city's gender gap. At Mount St. Mary's University, Gil Reyes for LA This Week.
Findings also show women of color at a distinct disadvantage, even though they comprise 72% of the city's female population. A limited edition postage stamp featuring author and poet Maya Angelou also features a glaring error. The quote on the stamp isn't hers, but that didn't stop longtime fans from attending the stamp's Los Angeles unveiling. Here's Andrew Tarr.
1, 2, 3.
Despite an embarrassing misquote from the U.S. Postal Service, friends of the late Dr. Maya Angelou say she would have been flattered. The Postal Service honors the acclaimed author and actress by placing her image on a commemorative stamp. Actor Robert Hooks remembers Angelou.
I would describe her as just a giant in the black cultural movement and in the cultural movement of the United States.
Angelou broke barriers with her 1969 autobiography entitled I Know Why the Caged Bird Sings, a vivid depiction of African American life in the South, which leads us to the quote on the stamp. A bird doesn't sing because it has an answer, it sings because it has a song. The Washington Post reports the words don't actually belong to Angelou, but to another writer, Joan Walsh Angland. The fact that both authors referenced a bird in their respective works helped fuel the confusion for decades. Despite the error, fans gathered for the Forever Stamp's Los Angeles unveiling at the Museum of African American Art. While autographing event programs for fans, Councilman Herb Wesson was asked who he'd like to see on the next commemorative stamp.
What's your name? Mike. No. I am a supporter of the Mayor Tom Bradley stamp effort.
Let's just hope the U.S. Postal Service gets it right next time. I'm Andrew Tarr for LA This Week.
Folks at the U.S. Postal Service aren't the only ones who've made that mistake. President Obama has also publicly attributed that quote to Angelou. The governor mandates drastic water use reductions. Water was also a hot topic at a recent UCLA symposium. And the city's garbage trucks go green as another clean fuel fueling station opens up. These stories in CityBeat. Governor Jerry Brown's mandatory order to reduce water use by 25% was met with praise by LA Mayor Eric Garcetti. The governor's announcement followed the state's snow survey that showed the snowpack at 6% of normal and at the lowest on record. The mayor had issued a directive last October for the city to cut its water consumption. Since the mayor's announcement in October, the mayor says Los Angeles has reduced its water consumption by 7 gallons per capita per day, and the city is on track to meet its goal of 20% reduction by 2017. Matt Peterson, Chief Sustainability Officer for the City of Los Angeles, was on hand recently at the UCLA Green Building Symposium to discuss the city's plan toward a future that is environmentally healthy and economically prosperous. And one of the biggest concerns toward achieving that goal is, of course, water.
We need to change how we use water. How do we make sure that that drop of water that comes from hundreds of miles away, that we see it as precious? That we no longer just keep the faucet running or water our front lawn that never gets used, and really begin to change our values and how we associate with that use of the water.
Peterson says part of that change in our value system needs to extend to our front lawns, making drought-tolerant landscaping the new normal and the object of aspiration. The LA Bureau of Sanitation recently cut the ribbon on its 6th compressed natural gas, or CNG, fueling station, this one at the West Los Angeles Sanitation District Yard. The CNG fueling station will provide natural gas fueling service to sanitation vehicles operating in the West LA Collection District.
We want to get to having 100% of our fleet on clean fuel. It's important for our neighborhoods and it's important for the city. It makes no sense to have a sanitation truck that comes to your house and picks up your trash but leaves behind invisible pollution for you to breathe.
Currently, over 75% of LA Sanitation's solid resources collection fleet uses clean fuel. A big part of downtown tourism is drawing big conventions to our convention center, and this week there was some great news as WonderCon announced its move to LA for its 2016 convention, and that's the focus of This Week in Tweets. WonderCon has been held in Anaheim since 2012, and before that in the Bay Area. WonderCon is considered the sister show to Comic-Con, embracing similar aspects of that show, including comics, movies, TV, animation, and more, with fans dressing up to attend autograph signings and celebrity panels. And you're seeing photos shared on Twitter with the hashtag WonderCon 2015. LA Convention Center also shared several tweets after the good news. One said, hashtag comics, cosplay, movies, TV, animation fans. WonderCon will debut in LA in 2016. We can't wait. At LA Mayor's office tweeted, LA is where entertainment comes to life. We are proud to announce that WonderCon is coming to LA in 2016. And the 2016 WonderCon at the Convention Center will be held March 25th to the 27th. And according to the LA Convention Center, the projected total economic impact for LA is over $32 million over the 3-day period. In this week's list of things to do, Earth Day at the Zoo, a picnic experience downtown like none you've ever had, and Alvin Ailey at the Music Center. The LA Zoo is throwing a bash to celebrate the 45th anniversary of Earth Day, and you're invited. The 2-day event on Saturday and Sunday, April 18th and 19th from 10 a.m. to 4 p.m. will feature opportunities to explore and learn about animal conservation and preservation and sustainable living for human beings. The different stations range from one where visitors discover the range of critters living in their own backyards to another where you can get close and personal to a desert tortoise, California's state reptile. All Earth Day Expo activities are included with paid admission to the zoo. The LA Zoo is located at 5333 Zoo Drive. Go to lazoo.org for more information. And this is not your ordinary picnic. On Saturday, April 18th from noon to 4 p.m., grab your picnic basket of goodies and head on over to the Grand Park event lawn between Broadway and Spring for this one-of-a-kind communal picnic experience. You can put your creative picnic spread on display for a chance to win tickets and a picnic basket to the Hollywood Bowl. There's even butter aerobics. Event organizers will provide the cream and you provide the manpower to churn it into butter. How about bringing your own dough to bake in the mobile bread oven? Food trucks will also be on hand for the picnicker without a picnic basket. Go to grandparkla.org for all the delicious details. And catch Alvin Ailey at the Music Center in the month of April. Led by Alvin Ailey and a group of young African-American modern dancers, a now fabled performance in March 1958 at the 92nd Street Y in New York City changed forever the perception of American dance. Since then, the Ailey Company has gone to perform for an estimated 25 million people at theaters in 48 states and 71 countries on 6 continents. The Dorothy Chandler Pavilion box office is located at 135 North Grand Avenue downtown. Go to musiccenter.org for dates and times and ticket purchasing information. And that's a look at some upcoming things to do. That's going to do it for this edition. Thanks for joining us. I'm Ellen Chang. A reminder that you could catch us online at lacitybeview.org. You can also follow and like us on Facebook or check us out on Twitter. That's at LATW35. We'll see you back here next week for more of LA This Week.